G'day. I want to ask you a question. What do people gain from all of their labours at which they toil under the sun? Well, that's not my question, that's the Bible's question. It's a question that's raised in Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 3. What do people gain from the work they do in this life? The measure of people's lives has, certainly in modern times anyway, been a very economic measure. We tend to view people's lives in terms of the abundance of their possessions, the size of their bank accounts, their superannuation portfolios, how many houses they have, whether they have a good income, and a whole range of economic measures, which of course is sending our world into a spin at the moment because so many things that people have invested in, so many promises, so much hard work is disappearing. It's just going. People are losing their jobs, interest rates are crashing, and so people dependent upon their superannuation are getting very little in return. Whole portfolios are falling apart. We're being warned of a massive recession where people's lives are turned inside out. What does Ecclesiastes have to say to us at this time? Well, I think it has a sober warning to us. And the warning is, if we see our lives as being measured in economic terms, then we fail to see the picture that God has for us. Have a look at the perspective that the author of Ecclesiastes has. He talks about the transient nature of things. Generations come and generations go, but the earth remains the same forever. The sun rises and the sun sets and hurries back to where it rises. The wind blows to the south and returns to the north. It goes round and round, ever returning on its course. All the streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. To the place the streams come from, there they return again. You got this picture here of the cycles of nature, of everything just going around and around and around and around. And there's a continuity of life, but generations come and generations go. People are just like actors on the stage. We have our performance and then we go on, and people don't remember the performance because another person comes along, and so if we read on, all things are wearisome, more than we can say. The eye never has enough of seeing, nor the ear its fill of hearing. What has been will be again, what has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which one can say, look, this is something new? No, it was there already, long ago. It was here before our time. No one remembers the former generations, and even yet to come will not be remembered by those who follow them. You see, we can go to all kinds of lengths to be remembered, to leave a legacy. We can work our butts off trying to build our own portfolio of real estate, our own investments. We can seek to achieve great names in business, great names in academia. We can seek to leave a mark by being the best at something, having invented something that surely will be remembered by. But the reality is, people are easily forgotten. Going back into verse 2 of Ecclesiastes, remember that slogan, meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher, utterly meaningless, everything is meaningless. Well, this book wasn't originally written in English, and the word that's used there, from which we get meaningless, it's a word havel in Hebrew, and it's the word that you'd used of something that's here and then it's gone. I grew up in Tasmania. I spent most of my adult life in Canberra, and so I'm used to cold winter mornings. And one of the interesting things about a winter morning is that you can breathe and you can see your breath. You breathe out and there's a mist. There's a steam cloud, it seems, coming out of your mouth, but it doesn't last. And then it's gone. And the writer of Ecclesiastes is saying, that's what life's like. We're here and then we're gone. Friends, what is the nature of life under the sun? What do we get for all of our toil? Well, Jesus has a perspective on this. It's a perspective that can only be understood in the light of eternity. If this life is all there is, then it is nothing but meaningless. But if there's a life to come, then these words of Jesus, I think, are worth taking on board. He says, what will it profit a person if he gains the whole world and yet loses his soul? What are you living for? What are you hoping to hang on to? What will you be remembered by? Friends, this life, I'm convinced, is not all there is. This life is about preparing for the one to come. Thank you.